Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with a Kick. I am, as always, Zander, and that over there is Kegan. And it is now time for that point of the year where the Champions League gets underway. We have the announcement of the groups here recently, and I thought we would take some time and go through them and see where we could see some interesting matches, see some cakewalks, and see some very unfortunate draws. So I say we just go ahead and hop right in here, because we got plenty of them to get through, A through H. The last year of group stage, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Next year they go to a table with 36 teams, and you play 4 home and 4 away matches. I'm sure that they'll have some sort of algorithm for making sure that, the top 4 teams don't play the top 4 teams in all those matches, or something along those lines. But still, you play 4 home, 4 away, and at the end, what was it? It was the top 8 go through automatically, and then 9 through, I think the rest of them have some sort of home and away fixture to figure out who gets the last 2 slots. I don't know. It's going to be different. But that is next year's problem, not this year's. We'll go ahead and get right into it. Group A. Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, and good old Galatasaray.
Yeah, I think this group is definitely not a group of death.
No.
But I do think Galatasaray and Copenhagen could get some sneaky draws in this group.
Yeah, going to Turkey is always tough. It's very far away, especially for Manchester United. I mean, they're all the way up in the north of England, and Turkey's far away. I have this one going pretty chalky. I've got it Bayern taking all the points because they're doing well as always. Man U getting second. But then I have Galatasaray getting some of those points from draws and finishing in third, with Copenhagen taking up the rear.
Yeah, I definitely have the old Munchins getting the top spot. Now that they have Harry Kane, I think it's going to be pretty easy for them. I don't think they're going to have a hard time. Maybe at Old Trafford they'll have a tough time, but I don't see it happening.
They'd be happy with a point. Yeah,
I don't know if they'll get all 18. I think I have them getting 16-ish points. So, that's okay.
I mean, that's perfectly acceptable.
But I think they're one. I think I'm going to go Galatasaray gets 2.
Really? Bounces Man U in the group stage.
4.
Wow. That would be a result for sure. I mean, Man U has to get their ship in order to not, because Galatasaray, they can always catch you on that away fixture, and if they get enough points, they'll beat you.
I think they'll do it by beating Copenhagen twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Galatasaray steals a game versus Man U, and they get just enough points where they clip them by 1.
Yeah. Could even be one of those goal difference things where it comes out the last stage and you're pushing for a goal, give up something late, and maybe get to a draw. Something interesting along those lines. I think it's going to be a little more chalky than that, but you could definitely see it with Galatasaray. We'll go over to Group B now. Group B, Arsenal got a good draw here, huh? Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV Eindhoven, and Lens from France. I had to look up where Lens was from because I had no idea. This one, I don't know if you've looked at their domestic production. Sevilla, currently last in the league, 0 points. Lens, currently last in the league, 1 point. I believe those were both out of 4. And PSV is doing all right. So I actually think that Arsenal makes their way through this, because I think they've had some decent spurts here domestically, obviously, with PSV going through. Getting some. They're from the Danish league, yeah. No, they're from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
So many domestic leads to track here. Yeah, and they're sitting on 9 points. So they've won all 3 of their matches so far. Granted, it's the Eredivisie, so it's not exactly the greatest competition. But I think that they're going to get a spot in the knockouts. And then Lens in 3 and Sevilla in 4.
Really? See, I have it almost the same. Sevilla in 3, Lens in 4. Mainly because Sevilla was built for the Europa League.
Yeah.
I literally think they've won it like 7 of the last like 20 years, maybe even less than that. It's pretty crazy. But at one point they won it like 3 years in a row, pretty recently.
Yeah, that is how they got through for this year again. That's how they qualified. Lens actually finished second in Ligue 1 last year. That's how they were able to qualify.
Yeah, I think Arsenal, I think they have a tougher time playing PSV, and so they might not win all the games, but I think it'll be Arsenal 1, PSV 2. Like I said, Sevilla 3, Lens 4.
I could very easily see like a PSV Arsenal draw at some point, and then Arsenal wins the reverse fixture. One of those sorts of things. But yeah, I think that Arsenal definitely had a big sigh of relief when they saw this draw coming through here, getting matched up with who they did. We'll move on from this to Group C with Real Madrid, Napoli, Braga, and Union Berlin. And I'll let you kick off this one.
This doesn't feel... I mean, PSV, Napoli's a little better than PSV, definitely, but it doesn't feel really any different than Group B.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see Braga or Union Berlin standing a chance. I think they'll be battling for that Europa League spot. I have Real Madrid 1, Napoli 2. I think they could go either way, but it's hard to imagine the other 2 teams getting any points when they play those teams. This one feels like a pretty clear cut. You know who's going through and who's not. It's more of a who's going to drop down to Europa League type of deal.
Well, Napoli did impress with the group stage last year. Their goal production was off the charts. But where do you have Braga and Union Berlin finishing? Just to keep yourself tracked.
I think I'm going to go with the German team pipping the Portuguese. I'm going to go Union Berlin 3, Braga 4.
I actually have a little bit of a shocker here. I've got Union Berlin going on to the group stage.
Wow.
Napoli is, they're playing around in sixth right now in their domestic league. They're in Serie A, and Hertha Berlin. Or not Hertha Berlin, sorry, Union Berlin. Sorry, I used to play with Hertha Berlin. That was my team that I used to use when I played FIFA. But I think Union Berlin has got a chance. I mean, if Napoli is good at scoring, and if the Bundesliga is known for anything, it's for a lot of goals. They score a lot in that league. So I think if they can split draws with Napoli, they've got a shot maybe on just goal difference getting through. It'll come down to the Real Madrid fixtures probably for both of those matches. Either one sneaks a point out of those, and that could really shift the tables. So I actually have it as Real Madrid going through. They had a very easy slate here. With Napoli finishing in 3rd, Braga, I don't think they have. They're just happy to be here. I think Braga, I think they're just really happy to be here. I think they were... They got in by finishing 3rd in Portugal and then getting through on the playoff against the Greek side, Panathinaikos. I think that's close enough.
Your Greek is immaculate.
Thank you. I never studied. And then Union Berlin coming in 2nd. And now we'll go to Group D with Inter, Benfica, RB Salzburg, and Real Sociedad.
Yeah, I think this one is one of those groups that isn't a group of death, mainly due to the names aren't super big.
Right.
But I think either of these teams could go through. This is my shocker group.
No.
I have Inter at 3.
Whoa.
I have Salzburg at 2. Benfica at 1. Sociedad at 4. I have Inter dropping down the Europa League.
Yeah, I've got this one as a competitive group as well. I mean, Inter's definitely like they're the headliners in this one, but even so, the rankings are not coming in that much higher than Benfica. So they're 2 points, and Salzburg isn't too far down there. I actually was playing around between Benfica and Salzburg. I think that Inter does carry through on this, but then I have Benfica getting bounced in favor of Salzburg. So reverse that. I have Salzburg getting bounced in favor of Benfica. So, but a competitive match because Real Sociedad's actually doing pretty well in the domestic league right now. I believe they're in second in the where are they? Did I write that down wrong? I think I may have written that down wrong. Whatever. I have them going out anyways. We both have them in fourth. But yeah, I think this one could be a very competitive group in the end, with some interesting matches. We'll go on to the second half of the groups here with E. Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord, Lazio, and you got to put them in here at some point. It's either Rangers or this year it's Celtic for the Scottish side. This one, Lazio is really stinking it up right now in their domestic league. I believe they are last in the Italians, right? They're Italian?
Yeah, they're
12th. They're fully mid-table. They're only on 1 victory so far out of 3 with a negative goal difference. So I actually have... Right, did I read that correctly? Yes. I actually have Atletico Madrid going through. I have a very surprising Celtic actually going through. I know I made fun of them, but I've got Celtic coming through with Feyenoord and then Lazio. I think that Lazio gets beat up in this one. I think that they maybe come out in the Celtic side of things with like 0 or 1 point. And then Feyenoord is currently in 4th in their league, so doing all right, but definitely wish they could have done better. They're on 8 points in 4 matches, so that's pretty good, but not in the top with the PSV Eindhovens and whoever Alkmaar is on 3 matches. But I've actually got it, Atletico going through and Celtic to just get super bounced in the knockout stages with Feyenoord and then Lazio in last.
Yeah, I'm not quite up to date with how the round of 16 works, with where they put who, the winners in second place. But I know that every other team in every other group who thinks they're going to finish first saw Group E and said, we want to play that second place team.
Yeah.
Because definitely. Atletico just, I think by default, is going to be the number 1. And I think they could not score a goal. They could draw all the games, and I still think they would go through. It's really bad. I think this group, Lazio sold off several guys. They sold one guy to Saudi Arabia like everyone did. And I also have Celtic moving on in the second spot. I have Feyenoord third and Lazio last.
We are 100% simpatico on that then. Yeah, it's you're probably right on that. Everybody's looking for the runner-up of this one. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look that up. I don't have how the draw goes, if it's specific to like A1 plays E2 or something like that. I know that works that way in the World Cup. If I remember. Yeah, but I can't remember if it does it for the Champions League. Yeah,
I don't know, but whoever gets them is going to be a happy camper.
Yeah, definitely going to be a happy camper. Although they would probably prefer it to be like Lazio or something, so they don't have to go up to Scotland for their away side. They'd rather go down to Italy for their away side. That'd be nicer. I mean, Feyenoord, it's no walk in the park either. But yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to the group of death here. Group F: PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle.
I imagine that when Newcastle saw this group, they probably said F, not for the group name, but due to the fact that they saw the draw.
Yeah.
And this one was a tough one because AC Milan, I'm pretty sure, were the Italian winners last year. You had Dortmund, who was second in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
PSG, I believe they won Ligue 1 last year.
Yep, they won France. Dortmund was second, and Milan actually finished fourth in Italy.
Fourth. I guess that was last year they might have won it. But this group is probably the hardest one by far. I think due to how Newcastle has started and their lack of experience, I think they get bounced.
I'm right there with you. I've got them in fourth as well. They just have not shown up the same Newcastle as last season.
And some teams do that though. Like domestically, they play pretty poor mid-table. Then they get into these competitions, and for some reason, they just go off. I think of Tottenham. The year Tottenham made it to the final of the Champions League, they were like 8th in the Premier League. But yeah, I have Dortmund at 3. I have Milan at 2, and I have PSG winning the group. But it's really close. I think PSG between first and third, I think it's a 3-point gap. Really a matter of one game.
Yeah, and always playing away at Dortmund is always really tough. They've got a great atmosphere there in Dortmund. I've got it basically the same. I have PSG and AC Milan flipped. I actually have AC winning it. With Dortmund putting on a good show, which they seem to do a lot. You're like, oh, they're so good, they might get through, but then nope, they don't. But yeah, I think that it's a group of death to be sure. But I think it's really tough for Newcastle because I just think that they don't have any sort of shot at getting out of this at all. Yeah. And we will move on to, speaking of tough times, how about the opposite of tough times? Going down to Group G here. Man City, the champions of all the other champions they get champions with RB Leipzig. It's like Svernesvedja, I think is how you say it. Something along those lines. And then Young Boys.
The harder it is to say, the easier the match, baby. That's what I like to say.
It's, in this case, it is. They made it last year. I think it just means like red stars in Russian or something. Svernesvedja. Oh, they're Serbian, actually. Sorry. It's Serbia. My apologies. But I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think that Leipzig and Man City go through. Leipzig getting first. Sorry, no, not Leipzig getting first. City getting first, Leipzig coming in second. And then I've got Young Boys holding on to third.
The Swiss boys. Yeah, I literally have it set up exactly how it shows whenever I look it up. City 1, Leipzig 2, Red Stars 3, Young Boys 4.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, last year, the Red Stars actually took a game off of, it was either Barcelona or the best team in their group. They took a game and they showed some fight. So I think they will get third. I think they'll get third with like 2 points. I think Young Boys get last with 0 points.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a draw against Red Stars, but I don't think that Man City I think gets all 18. I think that's going to be easy. Leipzig finishes with like 11. I guess if I did my math right, Red Stars would have to get 6 or 7.
Well, Leipzig will be looking for a little bit of revenge. They lost 8-1 on aggregate last year in the round of 16 to City. But yeah, I don't think they've got a shot. City's
they've lost really 3 pretty key players this summer. Leipzig did, and one came to Man City, so we're happy to take him. But I think that they're always that team. They're kind of like Dortmund. They're always going to have the young talent that you get excited about, but ultimately they're going to sell them.
Yeah, it's like we are here to produce talent that then we get to line our coffers with.
Oh, yeah.
And now we will get on to the last group here. Group H, Barcelona, FC Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp.
Yeah, this one, I have a shocker in this one.
Oh,
I have Shakhtar Donetsk winning the group.
really?
I have Barcelona getting second.
Mm-hmm.
I have Porto third and Royal Antwerp fourth. I just think that Shakhtar, I think they're going to get back to their European relevancy as they did in the mid-2010s. And I think they go to Barcelona, they get a draw, Barcelona goes to them, and they win. And I see them winning a tight group, but I see them winning. And I see Barcelona kind of having an issue. But, yeah, so the Ukrainians getting the first one.
Probably not true home matches. Probably not going to be true home matches for Shakhtar Donetsk. It's just, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that'll be able to happen. I have that as Porto actually going through first, Barcelona second, but then Shakhtar in third, and Antwerp. Yeah, it was nice seeing you.
I will say, though, if Shakhtar does host some home games, that'll be a hostile environment for sure.
Definitely. I think there will be fireworks aplenty if they actually had a home match.
It'll be a tense match for sure.
Definitely tense.
I don't know, psychologically, Barcelona might be a little tense. We'll see.
I don't know. I think that there are some good groups here. I think that Group D is going to be fun to watch. Group C, aside from Madrid, I think that'll be fun to watch just to see who can get through there. But well, I mean, teams that don't have a chance to get through in the knockouts, but they'd like to get through to knockouts if they could. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm excited to see what's going on when we get down there. But I think that wraps us up for our breakdown of the groups. We will see how it all shakes out in the end. I'm sorry, Newcastle. Listen, I told you in the last episode, you're not trustworthy to me anymore. And I think that this kind of shows that I was in the right, because they drew the group of death and are going to be bounced out in probably horrific fashion in last place. Maybe they can do something in the Europa League. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. But we will be back on Friday with our predictions. I had to remember what day of the week that we'd be back because it's so complicated, our scheduling. But we'll be back with our match day 5 predictions. Go and make sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X. Whoa, yes. Hey, we simultaneously did it. You could follow us on Facebook. I don't know if anybody uses Facebook. And ring the bell, drop us a like, whatever they do on things like this. But when all's said and done, I want to make sure that you guys grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we will see you on Friday. Done, eh?